Welcome, friends, to the lecture 3 on chapter 1 Nature of Entrepreneurship. In the subject Entrepreneurship and Industrial Management, I am Ujjwal Buch from Government Polytechnic, Ahmedabad. Our first topic is 1.21, that is state and national level support agencies. To accelerate the pace of industrialization in the country and also to support economic development, government at central as well as state level has made good efforts by way of implementing various measures. Government have set up number of agencies and institutions to assist and support emerging and established entrepreneurs to set up and develop their business at two levels, small and medium. These institutions are supporting the entrepreneurs in various aspects of the business, such as education, training, finance, marketing, etc. If I list a few, various central and state government agencies for support of SSI are SSI board, NABARD, SEEDB, Cottage, Village and Industries Commission, KVIC, CEDO, NSIC, NSTEDB, NPC, NISIET, EDI. And the state government agencies are DI, DIC, SFC, State Financial Corporations, SIDC, that is in Gujarat, it is GIDC, SIIC, that is in Gujarat, GIIC, and GSIDC, etc. Mainly, if we see first the central government institutions, first is NABARD. NABARD is an apex bank in the country. It was established in 1982 by Special Act of Parliament. It is actually National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. It was established with a mandate to uplift rural India by facilitating credit flow in agriculture, cottage and village industries, handicrafts and small scale industries. Second is National Small Industries Corporation. The National Small Industries Corporation Limited was established by the government as a public sector company in 1955. Then there is Small Industries Development Organization or SEDO. In 1954 it was constituted to develop support services for promotion of SSS. Over the years, it has seen its role evolve into an agency for advocacy, hand-holding, and facilitation for the small industries sector. It has over 60 offices and 21 autonomous bodies under its management. Next is Small Scale Industries Board SSIB, established in 1954. Khadi and Village Industries Commission KVIC is one of the major institutions for rural areas after NABARD. Its main objectives are to provide employment in rural areas, to help in skill development, to bring about rural industrialization, and to facilitate transfer of technology. I have listed here a few institutions: National Institute for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprises, NIMSME, NIESBUD, that is National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, then IIE, that is Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship, then SEEDB, Small Industries Development Bank of India. This is also very famous. Then there is National Board for Micro, Small and Medium Enterprise, NBMSME. Then there is KVIC, we have just seen. Then there is MGIRI, Mahatma Gandhi Institute for Rural Industrialization. Then there is a COIR board and NISIET, National Institute for Small Industries Extension Training. ICSI, a central government institution set up in 1979 to help tiny cottage and small industries and artisans of rural areas. Membership of ICSI constitutes about 1500 associations of the decentralized sector. Then there is one Laghu Udyog Bharti. It was founded in 1995 to promote and safeguard the interests of tiny and small scale industries. It has been given representation on the national and the state level government bodies responsible for the development of SSIs. It is also responsible for undertaking entrepreneurial training, providing support for technology upgradation and marketing services. India SME Technology Services Limited provides a platform where micro, small, and medium enterprises can tap opportunities at the global level for acquisition of the new and emerging technology or established business. A credit guarantee fund scheme for small industries were launched by the government, and the CDB set up the Credit Guarantee Fund Trust for Small Industries, CGTSI. FASII, Federation of Association of Small Industries in India. WASME, World Association of Small and Medium Enterprise, which was founded in 1981 to ensure business cooperation among its members. Its membership represents Chamber of Commerce, Small Industries Development Corporation, financial institution and commercial banks and other state government agencies of developing countries. Federation of Indian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, FICCI. FICCI was established in 1927 as a national agency through which the Chamber of Commerce and Trade Association in India could crystallize their views on current economic problems. It serves as the coordinating agency for the commercial and industrial interest as represented by various chambers of commerce and trade associations. SME Chamber of India, that is Small and Medium Business Development Chamber of India. The chamber puts all its efforts for the development of growth of MSME by organizing various activities to accomplish its objectives. The chamber provides information and guidance to new and existing entrepreneurs in effectively managing and growing their business. The chamber has developed key strategies to promote and support the MSME sector. The chamber also gives importance to the and encourages MSMEs to adopt innovative ideas and concept for the promotion of their business. ASSOCHAM, Associated Chamber of Commerce and Industries of India. ASSOCHAM is another apex organization like FICCI, to which some of the older chambers of commerce are affiliated. It was founded in December 1920. It seeks to make the businessman's voice heard and to ensure that their views are taken into account in the molding of the nation's economic life. It also undertakes persuasive activities directed at the administrative departments and to the lawmakers with a view to acquainting themselves with the viewpoints of the members. Next slide is CII, very famous and latest, of course. CII was created in 1992 by changing the name of Confederation of Engineering Industries. Earlier it was CEI. It is responsible for advisory, consultative and representative services to industry and the government. It has been given representation on major policy formulating bodies related with the industry. It also works like a nodal agency for international industrial corporation. This one, FIEO, Federation of Indian Export Organization, was set up by Ministry of Commerce in October 65 and represents Indian entrepreneurial spirit of enterprise in the global market. The Federation performs activity of common nature such as sending trade delegations abroad and inviting trade delegations from foreign countries, sponsoring commodity and market survey and collection and dissemination of the commercial intelligence. Time to pause. Please pause the video for a while and answer the following questions. There are two questions. Write them in your notebook. Once you are done, you can go to the next slide. Yes. Now we look into state government corporations. State Financial Corporation, SFC. We have Gujarat State Financial Corporation, GSFC. Its main objectives are to provide term loans for acquisition of land, building, plant and machinery, to promote of self-employment, to encourage women entrepreneurs, to bring about expansion of industry, to provide seed capital assistance. Then there is GIDC or SSIDC, Small State Small Industries Development Corporation, GSIDC. The state small industries development corporations were set up in various states under the Companies Act in 1956 as state government undertakings to cater to the primary developmental needs of the small, tiny and village industries in the state or union territories under their jurisdiction. Then there is DIC, District Industries Center and Industrial Estates, which is very famous as Jilla Udyog Kendra. In every district we have one Jilla Udyog Kendra or DIC. In each district there is one agency to deal with all requirements of small and village industries. This is called District Industries Center. The District Industries Center have undertaken various programs of investment promotion at the grassroots level, such as organizing seminars, workshops, extending support for trade fairs and exhibitions organized by various industries associations. Now let us look into different aspect. One is information. So all the central and state institutions up to district level provide information to all the entrepreneurs. Second is finance. National level institutions for finance are development banks like IDBI, CDB, IFCI, IIBI, specialized financial institutions like IVCF, ICICI, venture funds, TFCI, investment institutions like LIC, GIC and UTI. All India Development Banks, AIDBs, Industrial Development Bank of India, Industrial Financial Corporation of India, and Small Industries Development Bank of India, CDB, and Industrial Investment Bank of India, IIBI. I think CDB is very important, and this IDBI is also very uh, crucial. Nowadays, IFCI is also increasing its role. Next is IFCI Venture Capital Funds, IVCF, which is actually for risk capital scheme and technology finance and development schemes. And then there is one ICICI Venture Funds. Then other are LIC, UTI, GIC, which guide in getting finance and all. Now for technology, technical consultancy organizations are there. In Gujarat, we had JITCO, Gujarat Industrial Technical Consultancy Organization. Services of TCOs include preparation of project files, undertaking industrial potential surveys, identification of potential entrepreneurs, undertaking market research, project supervision, and rendering technical and administrative assistance, conducting EDPs. Our next topic is MSME schemes. Technology upgradation and quality certification. These are several schemes. You can find it on msme.gov.in. There are financial support schemes, so many of them. Some are credit link, some are for promotion of innovation for rural industries, and many. Now, training. Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India. We have one EDI center in Ahmedabad, but I think it was the only center for couple of years, and it is funded by IDBI, IFCI, ICICI, and State Bank. Then in Gujarat we have Center for Entrepreneurship Development (CED), which is in Udyog Bhavan in Gandhinagar. These are very famous for giving training for entrepreneurship to small business persons and even starting from kids to the faculties of the colleges. Quality control. National Skill Development Agency has National Quality Assurance Framework. Here is given website of NSDA. On that NQAF link is there, and then there is a Indian Institute of Entrepreneurship, right? So you can look into the website and find out more on this. There is also a link given for IIE. Now marketing. As I told you, EDI, Entrepreneurship Development Institute of India, IIMs, social media, and many national institutes like NIES National Institute for Entrepreneurship and Small Business Development, they give training for marketing in a business. Marketing promotion schemes of MSME are listed here. International Cooperation Marketing Assistance Scheme and P&MS Procurement and Marketing Support Scheme. Time to stop. Let us pause here and answer these questions. Take your time to write them down in your notebook and go ahead when you are done with these questions. Now topic 1.22, current promotional schemes for new enterprise. Listed is the site msme.gov.in. In that all schemes. Prime Minister Employment Generation Program. Another credit scheme, this PM EEGP, CGT MSE, ISEC. There are so many schemes. Next is 1.23, 7M resources. The 7M's of management cover man, that is human resource, material, that is basic ingredient in management, machines, that is basic tools, money, method, that is the art of doing, marketing, and minute or sometimes moral values, the way business is conducted. 7M's. Man. Man is the first M, that is human resource, that is the talent. It is from worker to CEO. Every human being in the company comes under this. Material. It is a basic ingredient. Most industries are located near availability of material, you see. Machine. An equipment for converting raw material to finished product. Capacity, spares, and maintenance are key issues here. Money. Who doesn't need it? Starting and working capital are almost required in every business. Money is one of the very and most important M of 7M. Method. The art of doing right thing in the business, plans, policies, procedure, culture, etc. Next is marketing. Marketing also is very strong thing. Strategy from launch to enter to monopolize means you have set up a brand, you are monopoly. From beginning to the end you need marketing. The last time is minute, that is time frame of events and how time is spent by worker to CEO. Everybody. In our next slide, 1.24 market survey concept. Market survey is the survey, research and analysis of the market for a particular product service which includes investigation into customer inclinations. A study of various customer capacities such as these procedures include market segmentation, product testing, advertising testing, key driver analysis for satisfaction and loyalty, usability testing, awareness and usage research, and pricing research. Using techniques such as conjoint analysis, among others, investment attributes, and buying potential. Our next topic is project report preparation. Our first point is feasibility. Now, what is a project report? It's a document which provides details on the overall picture of the proposed business. The project report gives an account of the project proposal to ascertain the prospects of the proposed plan or activity. Project report meaning contents. Project report is a written document relating to any investment. A feasibility report is a document that assesses potential solutions to the business problem or opportunity and determines which of these are viable for future analysis. In the feasibility, if we continue, how do we find the feasibility of a project? Completing a feasibility study, there are few steps. One is research and business drivers. In most cases, your project is being driven by a problem in the business. Then confirm the alternative solutions, determine the feasibility, choose a preferred solution, reassess at a lower level. Next is our topic is cost estimation and CVP analysis. What is a cost estimate? It's the approximation of the cost of a program, project or operation. The cost estimate is a product of the cost estimating process. You can say result also. The cost estimate has a single total value and may have identifiable component values. Cost volume profit analysis. You see the one graph here. In that it is shown units and earnings in dollars. There is a horizontal line called fixed cost, that is cost before starting a business for land, building, infrastructure and so many things. Procurement of raw material. Then there are two lines. One is variable cost and second is total cost. Variable cost is the first or the bottom curve and total cost is the upper curve. Now these variable cost, they are showing you the difference. Fixed cost plus variable cost, the sum is drawn in one top line and it is sum of the fixed and variable cost. Something below is called loss and above is called profit. So if sales are more than your fixed and variable cost, then you are having that profit. If sales are less, then you are having that loss. So CVP analysis is used to determine how changes in cost and volume affect a company's operating income and net income. In performing this analysis, there are several assumptions made, including sales price per unit is constant, variable cost per unit are constant, total fixed costs are constant. We have seen them by line here. Our next is detailed project report, DPR. DPR is a complete document for investment decision making, approval, planning, and is a base document for planning the project. and implementing the project. Things to remember in writing this project report. Write for the reader, the one who is going to read it, a bank manager or whoever. Bear in mind that the report is written for other people, not for yourself. The report should have a structure. Ensure that the report is evidence based and is supported by data. Make it as objective as possible. There is a list showing various things. There is a cover sheet, abstract, then profile sheet in which all your personal details, mandatory document list, background information, detail of the income revenue. Then there is a proposal, what you are going to propose as a business. Then there is a sustenance and growth, and then there is a conclusion. Then there can be annexures, references, and acknowledgements. Our next topic is risk, concept of risk and decision making. Now, what is risk? Risk is something that is uncertain thing. It is uncertainty regarding a loss, losses such as auto damage due to an accident or negligence regarding your property can give rise to liability risk. The loss involved in the risk is the lessening or disappearance of value. Widely, risk can be classified into three types: business risk, non business risk, and financial risk. Business risk are the types of risk taken by the business enterprise themselves in order to maximize shareholder value and profits. Non business risks are this type of risks are not under the control of firm. One approach for this is to provide by separating financial risk into four broad classes: market risk, credit risk, liquidity risk, and operational risk. Risk identification techniques. See, this is very important. Interviews, select key stakeholders, brainstorming, checklist, assumption analysis, cause and effect diagram, nominal group technique, affinity diagram, SWOT analysis. Our next topic is 1.27, last topic, risk management and SWOT analysis. SWOT, acronym of strengths, weakness, opportunities, and threats, is a great tool to use in group, either in the facilitated session or in a brainstorm. This method is very helpful for identifying risks within the greater organization context. A SWOT analysis is used to identify strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. These risks are then evaluated in terms of impact upon achievement of objectives. SWOT for the strength, brainstorm corresponding strength and record them, analyze and collect suitable strengths, prioritize strength in force rank order or the nominal group method, follow the same steps for weakness, opportunity and threat. Also, you can get the list, make a list and then make priority. Find out yourself which is the highest and which is the lowest. Yes, time to stop here, time to pause. So far we have covered all the topics of chapter 1. This is the last question answers. Give answer to these 4 questions and write them in your notebook. Once you are done, you can go to the next slide. Okay, students, now we are at the end of the chapter 1. Thank you very much for joining. If you have any questions or query, please send it to my mail or our Google Classroom link or into our WhatsApp group. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot and happy learning. You can see the videos again for more clarification and use Google and your notebooks, your assignments to assimilate knowledge. Thank you very much. Bye.